Emily Patterson Jackson's 10-question portion of our interview began with a slight detour onto the topics of the Bible and faith. Once again, this remarkable young woman distilled what could be controversial topics to the basic tenets of love, kindness, and helping others.
If you look at the Bible as a whole, there are a handful of passages about don't do this, don't do that, those kind of things. But those are things that everyone has a platform harps on. What you don't see is that, there might be a handful of those passages, but there are thousands of passages of caring for the poor, caring for the weak, the oppressed, and justice, social injustice. And I mean, you can't say that there's that many passages in there and that's not what truly is at the heart of God. I mean, really, because yes, there might be a few don'ts, those kind of things in there, but that's not, if you look at the overarching narrative of the Bible, that's not what it's about. It's about loving God and loving other people, and loving other people is service, and it's being the hands and feet, and that's, to me, that's what it boils down to.
You talk about faith.
Mm-hmm.
Define that word for me. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think, I would say there's kind of two components to it. I think faith is, the obvious thing is believing something that you can't prove, that, you can't scientifically, you can't 100% prove. But I think faith is also action, and I think that's the part that is missing a lot of times. I don't think you can, and I'm not trying to get into the, if you're saved, you're not, that kind of thing, but I don't think you can, if have faith and it not spur you to do something. I mean, I think that you can't read how Jesus treated people and how he acted and not want to do the same thing. Because of, and for me it comes from, since I've been loved so much, how can you not in return? So for me, I think it's kind of two parts. It's that, belief in not what you can't see, but also an action to it as well.
So what is it that you do have that makes this project work?
I think I have passion. I think my husband always says that I can talk anybody into about anything, and I can get people behind a cause.
Has that little boy that started this whole thing come back?
It's funny. I didn't get his name or his uncle's name, and that is like one of the things that I regret the most. But every time we have a bookmobile, I look for him, and I hope that if I ever saw him again, I'd recognize him.
What is the most valuable thing to you?
Passion. That's what spurs us to action. I think that's what makes things interesting. I think that's what makes things fun. My husband and I are very good complements, in that, I'm a more passionate person, he's a more, kind of realistic person. But I think that passion is what spurs great things to happen.
What makes you happiest? No matter when it happens or how it occurs or what it's about, it just makes you happy.
I love traveling. My husband and I, we were married for 10 years before we had our first kid, and so we traveled a lot, different countries, around the world, and I just enjoy every part of it. I enjoy every part of traveling. I enjoy.
Do you have a favorite country that you go back to?
Oh gosh, I could go to London. I've been to London several times now, and I could go back there anytime.
What is your biggest life fear, and how do you overcome it, or how have you overcome it?
The fear would be that I would not make a difference. That it would be like I was never here.
Is it important to you to spend time with other people, or is being by yourself a more significant need for you?
I'm an extrovert all the way.
How do you define quality of life?
Quality of life would depend on how content you are, how joyful you are, which is different than being happy. I think happy is more surface, a more surface emotion. But I think, if you have true kind of contentment and joy, regardless of your circumstance, regardless of, what's going on in your life, that would be a quality of life, I think.
Okay. Do you consider what society terms as important to you, and to what extent is that a part of your life? Or do you march to your own drummer?
Well, I would like to say that society has no bearing on, what I think, because, I think, that's the way it should be. I mean, of course, I think society has, a role somewhat. But I would say, for the most part, I would try to do my own thing, and I would try to do what is right over what, what I feel is just or right over what society says to do.
Okay. What is your lifetime dream?
Probably just to make like a difference. Do something great. I mean, I don't know what that would even look like or what that means, but just do something that I could, that after it was all said and done, God would look at me and said, "Well done." That was what I wanted you to do. Kind of following my calling maybe would be a dream.
Do you think you can make that dream come true?
Sure. Yeah.
No doubts.
No.
So I'll be looking for a trailer on the road soon.
A trailer, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.